Welcome to Local Edition on Time Warner Cable. I'm Steve Swatt with the Sacramento Report. In the next few minutes, we're going to talk about some unintended consequences of California's landmark law dealing with sex offenders. My guest this segment is Steve Fox, member of the State Assembly from the Antelope Valley. Thank you very much for being with us.
My pleasure.
So let's back up. 2006, Jessica's Law is approved by the California voters.
That's correct. What Assemblyman and Runner ended up doing was he made a bill that would keep sexual predators within 2,000 feet of a school, which on its face sounds good. The problem is the only area in LA County that has a lot of land that you can keep a sexual predator within 2,000 feet of the school is in our own district, where he's from as well. The result is that even though we have 10% of the population of the county in our district, in the Antelope Valley, we have
4%.
I'm sorry, we have 4% of the population and 10% of the sex offenders. We have more than our fair share. In fact, we shouldn't have any, to be honest with you.
So the situation is, though, when a sex offender is paroled, he goes to supposedly the county where he lived. Is that?
They're supposed to, but the more recent sex predator, Christopher Hubbard, this wasn't the county that he lived, but they're trying to send him to our county. We ended up protesting in Lake LA, and basically we sent hundreds and hundreds of letters to the judge in Santa Clara, and we got him to change his mind.
So, okay, so that case worked out well for you, but for others, they get paroled to LA County. They can't be within 2,000 feet of a school or where kids congregate, which means out in the desert, your area.
Actually, the case didn't. Even though we got him to say no, all of a sudden that same judge is now putting him in Palmdale, which is only 3,000 feet from where he was before, and they're trying to dump him again. I've authored Assembly Bill 1607 to stop that. Right now, the liberal judges get to do whatever they want, and they just dump them in the area of choice, which is in my district. What 1607 will do is require the judges to put the district attorney on notice that that's happening and give the district attorney the opportunity to argue where the safest place for the predator is supposed to be, and not in my district. In addition, it would take away the search and seizure restrictions, and the sheriffs will be able to go into his house and check him at any time.
So right now you've got parole dumping, I suppose you can call it, in your area. If this legislation passes, couldn't you end up with parole dumping somewhere else?
Number one, we've got over 700 sex offenders. You know, you don't have to walk too far to find one of them, and our area is not safe. You forget about their rights, what about the public's rights? At some point, you have to come to the conclusion that someone who offends and offends is going to just do it again. I mean, how many times do we have to be dumped on and injured and raped to be able to say enough is enough? To answer your question, and a bigger question is, where are you going to put them?
Right.
Number one, I don't want them in my neighborhood. Number two, let them stay at the hospital, let them stay at the prisons, put them somewhere that they can be watched that won't cost us very much money, but keep my area safe from them. We deserve safety. What about our rights?
Would your legislation, though, mandate that?
My legislation's the start, which is allowing the district attorney's office to be able to argue and be able to search the houses. I think the next step is finding a place we can put them instead of putting them in our backyard. We don't want them there. We have to worry about public safety first. Their rights, they lost those rights when they raped those women.
So you would just as soon keep them incarcerated then? I mean, if it were up to you.
I want to keep them where it's going to not keep us safe and cost us the least, which is let them stay in prison, let them stay in the county hospital where they can be watched, or send them, someplace else, but not in my neighborhood.
All right. Well, it's a fascinating subject. We're certainly going to watch the progress of your legislation because it does affect everyone throughout the state. Steve Fox, thanks very much for coming in and talking to us.
Thank you very much.
And thanks to our viewers also for watching Local Edition on Time Warner Cable. A reminder, you can see this and other interviews on YouTube, also on My Government On Demand. Have a great day.